Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I'm your host. I'm also the founder of the Bobby White Foundation. I had to thank Austin and John with Area 52 Media Group for allowing us to have this platform so that we can bring you some information, sometimes hard, sometimes not, kind of mix it up a little, but just get people used to talking. Anyways, so also I want to thank DeLynn Gaston, our sponsor with the mortgage firm, Everything Mortgages. I think I said last week. I mean, it's crazy time. It's crazy around here, especially after the hurricanes we went through. So if you have any kind of questions, mortgage related, she's your gal. So getting ready for the show today, and I was trying to figure out what was the title of our show going to be, and we only got couple more weeks, and Christmas will be here, and so I titled the show "'Tis the Season," and it kind of got me thinking. I was like, number one, I had to figure out to make sure I was going to spell it right, and it is with the apostrophe in front of it, and it is because it is the contraction of "it is the season." Didn't know that, but a little bit of trivia there. So it was kind of interesting reading it. So anyway, and with that being said, it can be a difficult time of year for a lot of people. It is a difficult time of year for a lot of people, and all many areas in the Southeast, not just us lost survivors, whether we're new in our journey or we've been going down this road for quite a while. It's still difficult, and we still have a lot of people hurting from the hurricanes. As a matter of fact, I had lunch, and one of my friends who lost everything, she was there, and it's just and I could see it in her eyes, and I feel it, but my feelings are it's different, but it's still grief and hurt and heartache, and your life is turned upside down. And um, I felt for her, and then sometimes I'm like, it's like, why are you feeling so bad? They just lost their home, they lost everything in it, and it's difficult. The process of coming back for them is really hard, and I could see it in her eyes. And but we're gonna get together here real soon and just go out and have a couple drinks and chill. um, but it's she's aware of my pain and my sadness and my grief as well as I am for her. And I have several other friends that are in the same position. So we do have our support groups back. The next one after this airs is going to be the Newport Richie group, December 19th at the Oasis Coffee Spot at 6:30 to 7:30. So if you're in the area local, please join us. Yeah, and then we'll continue in January with the dates. Of course, in Hernando, it'll be the second Wednesday in January, and Pasco the third Thursday in January. And I'll have those dates set up for you next week. I just haven't done that yet. Also, we're working on, so we'll continue to have our regular support groups and meet on our regular times and our days. But while we're going to be taking a break during Christmas and New Year's, we have this show, and then one more show before our holiday break, and that one more show will be our 150th episode. Yeah. So, anyways, so during that time period, myself and my cohorts, gals who help us with the support groups, will be getting together and scheduling and mapping out a new group that it's going to be a dedicated time period. It'll be kind of like it's not a course, but it kind of is like a course. Um, it'll be 12 weeks, and it'll be in person. Hopefully it'll be at the Oasis Coffee Spot. It'll be 12 weeks. We'll meet once a week, probably for around 90 minutes. And it is with we're following the guidelines and the course from Dr. Ellen Wolfelt from the Center of Loss and Life Transition, the understanding your suicide grief. And so with this, our first meeting, we'll be handing out to the participants. It's going to be a very, very small group. There'll be 2 facilitators, me and my co-facilitator, and 8 other people. I know I said 4, that looks like 4, but it's really 8. We're going to keep it small. So our first meeting will give the participants their Understanding Your Suicide Grief book and Understanding Your Suicide Grief journal. And we're going to have we'll have discussions and about each of them. It falls along the 10 touchstones of suicide grief that I have the book here. Maybe the wilderness of your suicide grief. We actually went through this, I think, step by each of the touchstones several shows ago. But and it's kind of part of that. And I'm hoping that maybe next summer, if we can raise enough funds, that I'll be able to go out to Colorado. I think it's going to be in Colorado. Some of his stuff or trainings are in Scottsdale, but I think this one's in Colorado. So I can go through the whole training of it. But we're still going to do it because we do have the guidelines, and we have a book, our book and information for running the support group. So we're excited about that. As I'll see, hopefully next week I'll have more information if we can get some dates going. Starting, it'll probably be like towards the end of January, but we would like to have it wrapped up by April. Because April, one of my co-facilitators, her month of loss along with mine is April, and so we kind of want to get that through that period. We were really hoping that we would be able to facilitate 2 more of these groups throughout the year next year, but we got funding for one, in which I'm really grateful, from Community Service Council of West Pasco. They gave us the grant funding to facilitate at least our first group. So it's something that I've wanted to do for a couple of years, and so we finally get to do it. So that's what a lot of my off time is going to be for. So again, if anybody is interested in maybe doing this, I don't know how. I mean, I do know how kind of we could do it. If we come up with the funding to have one of these courses and do it virtually. So I'm kind of been going through that in my head, how we could be able to facilitate that. And we would do, I would want to do it the same way, is that the foundation, so that we could get the books out to the people, so it wouldn't be of no cost to the participants. So that might be something, that we can consider next year at some point. So if anybody's watching this and you're not local, and it may be something that you would be interested in doing, please contact us. You can either call me at the foundation, 727-859-3768, or info@bobbywhitefoundation.org. And give us some feedback, and let us know if you would be interested in participating with that. I really like the way Dr. Wolfelt approaches the grief and healing process. And so I think it's really going to be a helpful thing. So one of the things I wanted to mention, I mentioned it last week, and especially with the holidays, because it happened to me, and I think I touched on it too last week, is this thing called a grief hangover. Some people, and the only reason I know about it is because it happened to me, and when something like that happens, I kind of try and want to figure out what's going on. So there's this thing called grief hangover, and it doesn't have to be limited to our journey, with the suicide death, but even the my friends and the people that I know that have lost so much with the hurricanes, these holidays, and there's parties, and company parties, there's neighborhood parties, there's family get-togethers and everything. And when you're in the environment, if you do decide to participate, there's a lot of energy, and things are caught up, and you're caught up in it. But then afterwards you go home, and the next day maybe you're just not feeling so hot. And I know that it had happened before, but I didn't know what it was. But sometimes as I'm going, down, my journey with this, when things like that do happen, but I am a little bit more aware of what is happening with myself, that's when I end up learning more and trying to figure more out. So anyways, this could happen. I mean, you might go to a family event, or anything, and it could be like I said, grief from the loss and destruction of your home, losing a friend, I mean, there's just whatever it is, the hardship and the grief that you're carrying. And so the next day, and it could last for a few days, you just kind of feel out of sorts. You don't have energy. Me, I get it's like having brain fog, and there's just no energy or just will to do anything. And I feel it right here too. I feel a lot of stuff right here, and so one of the things that they do, and I did start doing this, even with when we do the support groups. So the day after our second support group, the Pasco County support group, I don't schedule anything for that Friday. At least I try not to. The only thing I schedule for that day is going to get a massage and a cranial release treatment. That's my self-care for that time period, for that day. Because during the month, like the fourth week of the month, I have probably 3 or 4 meetings. All Zero Suicide Partners of Pinellas, Zero Suicide Partners of Hillsborough, Pasco County, Acute Care, our SAFE program. So I try on those days not to schedule a whole lot of other things, just in case. So if you find yourself feeling this way, or thinking, oh, this is what it is, or maybe finally it's like, oh, fine, I know what it is. Self-care. Take care of yourself. Take some take some time to pull back. Go for a walk. Do something that you enjoy that is not something that you have to do. For me, it'd be working in the yard. Even though it's something I really have to do this year, hopefully, and maybe even before, it'll be cleaning the shop and getting that rearranged because I always say we because I'm just used to that with Bobby, even though he didn't work a lot with my business with the gallery, but changing some things up with what we do with Tammy White Galleries this coming year. So, but yeah, yard work, which was Bobby's thing, but it's something that I enjoy, even though it also is something that has to be done. But like I said, going on a walk, sitting quietly reading a book, just anything that you can do that is that's joyful and not stressful and something you don't have to do. And you have to feel it. You have to let the feelings, because if you fight it, it's going to take longer and it could get harder. And you have to feel. You have to feel the grief. You have to feel the emotions. So that's what I do. So what Christmas I think is on a Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday, probably that whole weekend. I'm not scheduling anything that I have to do. It's just going to be time for me to reflect maybe a little bit and just do what I want to do, what maybe will feel good for me to take care of myself. This block of time between the middle of November to the first of the year for myself is really difficult. Even, this is my 8th year. This is my 8th Christmas without Bobby. That time period, because it's, starts with his birthday, then Lost Survivors Day and Thanksgiving and Christmas parties and New Year's. And Christmas was my favorite time of year. I loved decorating. Even when it was hard for Bobby, my mother-in-law, her birthday is Christmas Day. And she passed away 5 years prior to us losing Bobby. And each year got harder and harder for him on Christmas, but I still tried every year to make it as joyful as I could for him, even though, it was a tremendous loss. I think losing his mother hit him way harder than what he anticipated, or any of us, even me, anticipated. But trying to get back into that little by little, it's still hard. And every year I have these wild legs. I'm going to get the lights back up again, and I'm going to get all this decoration. And then all of a sudden you're halfway into the month and no decorations are out yet. But I am going to try. I am going to get the decorations out this weekend, if not before. And I am going to, there's this place that we went to a couple times when we first moved up here. It's Urgle Tree Farm over in East Pasco. And I'm going to, because I'm going to make myself do it, I'm going to go over there. And one year we got a live tree, planted. And then one year, he cut a tree down. I'll have to pull that picture out for next week. It's so funny with him with his suspenders on. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to get a live tree so that I can plant it. That's my big thing for Christmas. So just self-care. You'll get through the holidays. It's going to be hard, but don't get down on yourself when you feel bad. It's almost like, it's the letdown from all the excitement. But it hits us a little bit harder. And it may, it'll happen throughout the year with different holidays, depending on your loss. Father's Day, anniversaries, birthdays. You know, um, Especially if you're with a lot of people and there's that energy. The afterwards is when you really need to take care of yourself. So I had mentioned with the gallery, we're going to start doing some different things, and this falls into part of this a lot. And I've been thinking about doing it for really quite a while. And it is a Japanese art called Kintsugi. Now, I had some Hummels that actually I got from my mother-in-law. There's one of them there. Busted all to pieces. And they mean a lot to me because my mother-in-law gave them to me. Well, the idea is, and it's an old Japanese art, is putting something broken back together with other elements, but includes gold. So if you look really close on that one, let's see if I even have them here, so I don't know if I can point it out a little bit. Where there's gold broken piece around these elements, these were all the breaking points. And so I put it all back together, and now it's a new piece. It's beautiful, and it's taking something broken and putting it back together and making it even more beautiful. This was you can see on the sleeve there just a little bit of gold. The hand on the angel, it's actually a Hummel nativity scene. That little gold there, and right on the tip of her pinky is where it was broken. And so I put that back together. And then I have a nativity scene that my aunt made me many years ago. It's porcelain, and she was killed in a car accident just months afterwards. And so anyway, I don't have a picture of this one, but I do have the piece. Actually, there's two pieces. One is the donkey, and the donkey is like in a million pieces. I'm putting it back together, but even when I put this one back together, it's not going to be whole because there's missing pieces. But one of them is, let's see if I can show this little cow, and his ear was broken off. And so I did the same technique, and his ear is all fixed. He's just got a gold little line around there, and he's all beautiful again. So again, Kintsugi can be used as a meditative process, helping put broken objects back together and looking at them in a new light and embracing the imperfections. And that's kind of how I feel about us. We're working on putting ourselves back together. We may be broken to a point, some more broken than others, like my little donkey that maybe I'll show you next week if I can get some more pieces put back together. But we can be put back together and be even more beautiful or as beautiful as we were before. It's not easy. It's a lot of hard work. Putting that donkey back together has been hours. Some of it goes easily and some of it doesn't. But I'm really excited to be able to offer this to my clients. There's some other things that we're getting ready to do, and getting the shop cleaned up is we're going to start with some ceramic projects and stuff. And anybody that knows pottery, a lot of times, you can put things in a kiln and it ends up coming out broken. Well, instead of just tossing it, we're going to use Kintsugi. So we can still have beautiful pieces made from something that's broken. And this is an ancient art. One of the, might try and do it with one of my cat bowls that cat's even broke, is that you can take stones um, or crystals. And if you have broken pieces, and fit them into where it's broken, and do the gold gluing lining. It's different types of materials with different types of broken materials. So there's different processes, but it I just when I started reading this and started messing around with it a few weeks ago, to me it was like it was a perfect metaphor for me to pursue it a little bit more. So hopefully, and I did yesterday. I had well, 2 days ago, I was canning some turkey stock, and I had a incense burner sitting on the counter, and I went to move something and it just went flying across the floor. So I thought, okay, here's another Kintsugi piece. So I put it on the shelf with the other broken pieces that we're working with. So it's going to be this coming year, I hope, an exciting renewal for the gallery. I'm feeling positive about it, at least at the moment. So, anyways, so my quote for today is: there are no rules for surviving holiday grief. Do what you need to survive. Honor your loved one how you need to, and do what feels best for your fragile, aching heart. You're missing a huge piece of you, so do whatever you need to do to find a sliver of peace. And don't forget, please have these phone numbers ready, have them in your phone. It's a fragile time of year for a lot of people, and you want to be ready to help out where you can. So please be compassionate, and just always remember there is always hope. Thank you so much.